I want to get into the Devers stuff immediately, man. Obviously, that's been the one story that's been going on all across baseball. Everybody's giving their opinions, everybody's giving their thoughts. I want to hear it straight from your mouth. What do you got on this whole Devers thing? Now he's been traded over to San Francisco. Um, are we looking at, is this a good thing for the Red Sox? Good thing for the Giants? What are your immediate thoughts?
First of all, I want to thank you for having me, and it is an honor to share, some of the things I think and I know about these situations. Thank you. It's a great honor to actually have my colleague uh, have this moment with me. Listen, on the Devers situation, I haven't really been outspoken on it because I didn't really participate too much on those things. But I have to tell you, I think we made a mistake as an organization to let it get out of hand. And one of the biggest things that I have come to notice is that the Red Sox had a beautiful opportunity to keep everything, including Devers' attitude in between the the players, the inside the clubhouse, inside with the baseball people. The Red Sox have a lot of people. Listen, if you call in Pedroia, you call in Veritek, you call in David, you call myself, you call me into the situation. I'm pretty sure we would have convinced Devers to do anything we wanted the Red Sox to have Devers do. The thing is, when you don't involve your baseball people in those kind of situations, uh, it's hard to understand how the player is going to respond. Devers is a guy that is not very outspoken in Spanish, English, or any language whatsoever. You need to get to know Devers in order for you to kind of, you know, tell him what to do. And I think Alex and the Red Sox dropped the ball on that because Alex is someone that I think Devers was able to trust. But the way it was explained to him, it didn't sit well with Devers. I think he needed more help. He needed more people like Pedroia, like Big Papi, like me, maybe Tech, some of us to pull him aside and as former players and people that he respects, I think it would have been well taken by Devers. But it got out of hand. It went to the media. It, it became uh, an ugly scene for both sides. But
Right.
now I'm glad Boston got pretty good talent, and Devers is going to be happy in San Francisco, where baseball people like Buster Posey are going to be closer to Devers and figuring out what to do. And he can trust guys like Buster Posey to be honest to him and tell him straight up what he should be doing because he does have the ranks.
Yeah, no, I agree with you in a sense that, it takes other people, either former players, players that have won previously, players that have been a part of the organization, and current players as well, to kind of be able to talk to a player about those things, right? And talk to about, these are some of the things that we see with the team and what could best work with the team and give us a chance to win. One of the things that I look at too is, and maybe I can get your take on this too, is I didn't feel like there's anybody that Devers could really go to within his own team that would be able to say, hey, sit down with Devers and be like, hey, man, this might be a good situation for you to be able to take some ground balls over at first base, or we might end up needing you to be able to move positions. Basically, he is the face of that organization. So it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of veteran leadership around that organization to be able to sit Devers down. I want to get your thoughts on whether or not there's somebody you felt even on the current team Devers could be able to go to and talk to in that sense.
Uh, in that sense, I must tell you, the Red Sox do keep it quiet, but we're always around. We're always available. Pedroia is available. Tech is working with the team there, someone he can really trust. The thing is, I don't think that they were asked to individually go to Devers to do those things. And the press conference that they held the other day didn't help it at all, because you hear, the front office, Sam Kennedy, Breslow, and all those guys talking about the situation, and they talked about championship and stuff like that. But it's not just the championship. It's not what we have done. It's understanding the human inside the uniform. And that's
Yeah.
what nobody probably understands about Devers. How was he feeling when you were telling him, dump your glove? Uh, was he offended? Was he feeling, I don't know, funny about not being treated like someone that could be worth a position in the infield? Uh, I think there was a lot of miscommunication, but it should have been handled by baseball people that have been there, that understand what it's like to wear the uniform and at the same time be a human. I
Mhm.
don't think they did the best job at doing that, and hopefully this will probably be helpful for the future, because so far Mookie Betts did not leave happy.
Yeah.
Bad trade. John Lester did not leave happy. Bad trade as well. Everyone, Chris Sale did not leave happy. Everybody is like looking around to see what's going on with Boston. And we went from probably being the most, probably, I would say, lovable team in the last 20 years, to probably one of the teams that everybody's going to be looking at in the future and saying, if they treated Devers, if they treated Chris Sale that way, if they disrespected John Lester, uh, free agents are going to really be looking at Boston in a different way. And that's what I'm concerned, that the culture that we left, Pedroia, Papi, Manny, all of us, Tech, all of those great players that went through the organization, uh, it's going to disappear. And people are going to start looking at Boston as a bad organization, or an organization that doesn't respect the players. And
Yeah.
that I would hate to see, because we went from being one of the most popular teams in the last 25 years to probably be one of the most hated team in all of baseball. And I don't want to see that.
Yeah, no, I don't think anybody wants to see that. Obviously, the Red Sox have done such a great job with their organization. I want to get your thoughts on now. Poppy has been recorded or reported mentioning that he had reached out to Rafael and to try to get him to help the situation, but he never really returned messages. And obviously, this is somebody of such high standard in the Red Sox organization. Hall of Famer. What are your thoughts on Rafael maybe never getting the communication with Big Poppy, who could probably help out in this situation?
Well, Big Papi also made a mistake in the spring training by speaking in front of the cameras about some of the things that he needed to tell Devers. And just like I said before, that should have been handled in house. Big Papi should have gone out with Devers to talk about those things, not really openly speak in the field, because the cameras are able to pick up everything we say, every whisper that we have out there is being picked up by the microphone. So uh, that was the first mistake from Big Papi. The other thing is, uh, I don't like to hear those comments after things happen like that. I would love for Big Papi to come over, grab Devers, go to a restaurant, go to his house, throw a barbecue, and talk to Devers in his house. As a player, I would love to have a leader tell me, Pedro, I would love to exchange some words with you, but I want to do it in your house. I want to do it in your hotel room. I want to do it in a restaurant, just you and me alone. That's how I would treat it. That's how I would do it if they granted me the opportunity to go see Devers. But I was never asked to go see Devers.
Mm,
And I actually had conversations with Alex, and I said, Alex, I'm open to always be around and in these kind of situations mediate. I remember that Lester at one point was disrespected by one of the officials in the front office, and he felt offended, and he was negotiating an extension with Boston, and he decided that he wasn't going to talk anymore. So I told some of the guys in the front office, allow me to talk to Lester and let me see if I can get him back to the table. And all it took was for me to sit down and chat with Lester and talk to him. And he says, "Well, Pedro, I have so much respect for you that I'm gonna forget about how mad I am, and I'm gonna sit back down to talk." Even though it didn't work out,
Right,
at
right.
least I felt really happy that Lester was able to listen. And I'm pretty sure Devers would have done that if you send the right people to talk to him.
Yeah, and now you have Breslow mentioning that he believes, and I want to get kind of your thoughts on this too, that the Red Sox are now a better team, right? Like with them moving on from Rafael Devers. Do you agree with him in that sense that this team is better now, whether that be culture, whether that be, we both been in the clubhouse. We know that there's certain tension that comes with, a certain player may not be doing what everybody else expected of him, right? Obviously, the highest paid player in the room, there comes a lot of observations with those types of things. The idea that Breslow says this team is better now moving on from this, do you agree with those sentiments?
No, I don't. I don't. You have in baseball. There's one thing that's always gonna keep you humble. If you don't show me the numbers that say that the team is gonna be better without Devers and the new guys that we're getting in the trade, uh, well, I don't have a reason to believe that. But at the same time, I must say, remember, Breslow is a first year GM, and he's young also. He's going to make mistakes. It doesn't matter how bright he is and how many degrees he has from MIT. Uh, in baseball, he's still young. And as a GM and dealing with players, he's still young. He's got a lot to see from baseball as well. And I believe he's going to do that. And that's probably a question that he should have never answered. I think that would have been a question that I would try to skip, and I would just say I'm hopeful that the team is gonna respond as good or maybe better without Devers and the kind of players that we got. That would have been a more convincing kind of answer than just boldly going out there and saying that because Devers has done great with every team he has played for the Red Sox. And what those guys are about to do, we haven't seen yet. Now I saw what Devers did with the team, and that is a mistake from Breslow, and I would not hide it from him. He should have never answered that question.
Yeah, there's no doubt the offensive impact that Rafael Devers has brought to the Red Sox year after year after year. Now, it is interesting that he has now gone over to San Francisco and he's already mentioned that he's willing to play anywhere now. And he's been seen taking first base, ground balls over at first base already tonight before the game. So, I guess what do you think about him now all of a sudden changing and saying, okay, I'm okay playing first base now, being with the new team?
Xavier, I'm gonna tell you this from my point of view and knowing Devers. Devers feels like he was mistreated.
Mm,
I think there was a little bit of lack of respect about approaching him, or maybe not lack of respect, but misunderstanding his attitude, his feelings, who Devers really is. And Devers, I can tell you one thing, 100%. And I want everybody to quote me on this. Devers is a team player. Devers will do anything to try to win a ball game for his team. Whoever tries to point a finger at Devers about not being a team player is totally wrong. Devers, remember, Devers is still relatively young. He's learning he was learning as he was coming to the big leagues. But Devers is a team player. Devers is one of the best we have seen swinging the stick. He improved defensively through the years. But listen, you can't be perfect at everything you do. He's going to be below average in some things and better than average in some others. But nobody can crucify Devers or call him not being a good teammate or a great person or a team player. He is a team player. He would do anything. The problem is there was a whole bunch of bad communications with Devers and lack of understanding the human inside the uniform. I must repeat that. Nobody understood the human at the moment inside the uniform. And that is part of the homework that we have to do in the front office, in the field, and off the field.
Yeah. Yeah. The disappointing thing is, now it's almost going to be a bad look on Devers, the fact that he's willing to play different position with a new organization. I almost feel bad for Red Sox fans. They say goodbye so quickly to Devers, knowing that he was the face of that organization, and get the bad taste in their mouth with that whole thing, man. But I obviously wish the best for this Red Sox organization. Hopefully those players in return are able to have some impact this season, and hopefully the flexibility financially will help out the organization as well. I want to get to the next topic and just get into whether or not this was the worst trade that we've seen from the Red Sox, right? Because we've seen, you mentioned some tough ones. Mookie Betts going to the Dodgers. Obviously, that was a tough one. We've now seen also Chris Sale get traded to the Braves. He wins a Cy Young in a sense. So now we've seen this Devers trade. Let me rank them. What do you have? What do you have Devers as being the worst? One of these other ones? What are you thinking?
No, I need to see what happens with Devers and the young guys that they acquired from San Francisco. But so far, I must say, I believe it's Mookie Betts.
Right.
Mookie Betts became an MVP, has been a champion twice, which is what Boston would love to see. I just don't feel like the Devers trade is to be mentioned yet, because we haven't seen the results of Devers in San Francisco. Neither have we seen the results of the players coming from San Francisco in Boston. So that's yet to be seen. Now, the Chris Sale, it's also another trade that looks really bad for the Red Sox. John Lester is another trade that looks really bad for the Red Sox. But Mookie's irreplaceable. It has to be Mookie, one of the probably worst trades in the history of the game.